School buffs.
Homecoming League. Excuse me for that. Welcome to 2032 Homecoming League B playoffs, bowl games, playoffs, early National Signing Day, all types of good shit going on. Stats, awards, who did what all season long. Let's see where the Buffs finish. Clemson once again dominating the recruiting cycle. 14 5-stars, 3 4-stars. Colorado comes in second with 3 5-stars, 24 4-stars, and 4 3-stars. Alabama third, 22 total, 3 5-stars, 19 4-stars. USC 29 total, 2 5-stars, 24 4-stars, 3 3-stars. Syracuse 27 total, brought in 2 5-stars and 25 4-stars. Round off our top 10s. Oregon was 6, 2 and 21. Texas is 7, 2, 18 and 1 3-star. Florida State comes in 8th, 25 total, 19 4-stars, 6 3-stars. Georgia with 28 total, 19 4-stars, 9 3-stars. And then the University of Miami with 24 brought in, 19 4-stars, 5 3-stars. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. God damn it. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. God damn it. All right. Before we got into the bowl week, we're in bowl week 1 out of 4 weeks right now. We're going to take a little stroll down memory lane and take a look at some of the big conference games that were played. Florida, Colorado, Tayshaun Henderson winning the second Big 12 championship over the Florida Gators. Oklahoma and Alabama, they were rocking. All right, Alabama won that game by 10, 45-35 over the Oklahoma Sooners. The Big Ten game, USC 91-49 over Oregon and Indianapolis. USC showing their dominance in that ball game, and in the big game of the conference championship was number 6 versus, at the time, number 4. But you're looking at Syracuse over Clemson 47-21. Moving on. So that gave us our playoff picture. Let's take a look at the college football bracket. All right, I think it's an even split the way things are. I mean, obviously you got UNLV, group of 5, sitting at the 12th seed. Miami University, shout out to Miami and their head coach, year 1 of taking over this Miami program. Got them boys 5-0, sitting in the college football playoffs at 12-0, number 5, and they're 5 seed in the playoffs. They'll be taking on UNLV. Winner out of that game will go to the quarterfinals and play in the Cotton Bowl against USC. The next matchup is the 8 versus 9 seed. Oregon gets a home game versus West Virginia. Coach Shogun's in his second season with the West Virginia Mountaineers. 10-2, number 9 in the nation. They're 8. Oregon is 12-1. Winner of that ball game will take their talents to quarterfinals and play Syracuse in the Orange Bowl. Now on the bottom of the bracket, you got Michigan and Clemson, big time matchup. Coach Boone takes over that Michigan program and got them 9-3 and in the playoffs. Right, they were right outside the playoffs, but they won their rival matchup big over Ohio State, which put them in the mix right now. 9-3. They're number 10. They will be traveling to Clemson to take on, in Death Valley, to take on Coach Hoodie and this powerful Clemson program. 11-2. They're number 4 ranked, number 6 in the college football playoffs, right? So 11 versus 6. Michigan travels to Clemson. Winner out of that game will go to a Peach Bowl and take on Alabama, the number 3 seed. And then at the bottom of the bracket, you got Florida State. Coach C. Hound got his Florida State Seminoles into the playoffs with a 9-3 record. They're number 10 in the nation. They're going to be taking on the number 7 team in the nation, and that's Texas. Coach Kemp, 10-2. And the winner out of that game will travel to the Fiesta Bowl to take on Colorado. All right, our top 25 college football poll. Syracuse finishes number 1. Colorado falls to number 2. That big win over Clemson has jumped Colorado as the number 1 team in the nation. Alabama number 3. They go from 6-3 after their win over Oklahoma in the SEC championship game. USC goes from 8-4 after their big win over Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. Miami, they fall from 3-5, being idle. They had no game to play. They didn't play in the championship game. And then you're looking at Clemson falling to number 6 after being number 4 in the nation. They fall just 2 spots after losing to Syracuse in the ACC championship game. Texas stays at 7. They have Florida State as always, like we said. Oregon goes from 5-8 after taking that loss to USC. West Virginia stays idle at 9. Florida State goes up 1 from 11-10. That got them in the playoffs, right along with Michigan going from 12-11. Oklahoma losing to Alabama knocked them out of the playoffs, even though they're the 12th team in the college football playoff bracket. A group of 5 school gets that spot, which knocks Oklahoma out of their appearance to the playoffs. I like this Oklahoma team. I think they're going to be really solid coming back next year. All right, Coach Onk and those Bel Air Bears, man, they finished number 13 in the nation. They moved up 1 spot. UCLA and Coach, my boy Hal is back, right? Hal is already back in the building. UCLA finishes 14th in the poll. Nano and coaching the UTSA Roadrunners, he has them 15 in the nation. Texas A&M goes to 16. The Gators fall to 17 from 13. Auburn stays idle at 18. Coach Taste the God, the Twitter king, has his Auburn Tigers 8-4, 4-2 in conference play. Tennessee stayed 8-4. They go from 20-19. Ohio State goes from 21-20. Colorado State lost their bowl game, but they fell out of the mix. They only had 1 loss. They were on their way to the playoffs. Sucks to be you and your bitch ass coach over there. Louisiana 22, Jacksonville State 23, San Jose State 24, and Washington State 25. Those playoff matchups is going to be very interesting for sure. Let's go and take a look at what happened stat-wise. I'm not going to read off, the top 5. Maybe I'll do top 5, but we just want to know who won those stats, right? Passing leader this year, Braylon Murray, man. The Murray brothers. You got 1 defensive player, 2 offensive players. You got Braylon Murray thrown to his brother Brandon Murray at the receiver position out there at Alabama. He went for 6,720 yards, threw 72 touchdowns, only 11 INTs, 81 completion percentage, and he threw for 517 yards a game. Solid. How about Keyshawn Henderson? Colorado's quarterback goes 6,419 yards, 86 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, 76%, 494 yards a game. Bam Gorey, 4-year starter for Syracuse, national championship winning quarterback last year, 6,082, 78 touchdowns, only 7 INTs on the year, 85 completion percentage, 468 yards a game. The young gunner, Max Hendricks, he up and coming. He's going to be back next year. He's going to be a fucking problem. He's a dog. 6,023. He threw for 6,023 yards, 77 touchdowns, 30 picks, 63 completion percentage. That's something that he wants to work on. The interception numbers get down and completion percentage goes up. But he was 463 yards per game. Tim McQueen goes out with his senior season, 6,005 yards, 69 touchdowns, 34 INTs. And that's your top 5. The run game, man, Tay Scott is arguably, like, Keelan Strong was the man for a couple of years, but this Tay Scott kid is the best running back in college football. for USC. He said he gonna make you forget about Reggie Bush and all the big time backs that came out of the University of USC. 230 carries on the year. This man rushed for 3,253 yards, average 14 points. It was like he was still playing high school football. 14 yards a game, 48 touchdowns, 271 yards a game, 14 yards a carry. Love this running back class. How about Yazi, redshirt sophomore, goes for 28-39, 28 rushing touchdowns, average 11 yards a game. Keelan Strong, 22-29, 9.2 yards a game, 25 touchdowns, 186 yards a game. Cedric Rainey balled out for Florida. I mean, he went crazy. First 2,000-yard back in the University of Florida in a while. 235 carries, 2,106 yards, 9 yards to carry, 22 touchdowns, 162 yards a game. Malik Red for Colorado going out his senior season with 162 carries, 1942, 12 yards a pop, 22 touchdowns, 162 yards a game. Kyle Wallace from Canton, New Jersey. First of all, rest in peace to my boy Kyle Wallace. But 227, 1805, 8 yards a carry, 26 touchdowns. Alexander Sterling, sleeper back. This is one of the best backs in the nation, but we're not going to go farther than that. I was one of the top 5. I cut down the touchdowns. I told y'all 48 for Scott, 28 for Yazi. Wallace was 26, tied with Sterling. Strong and at 25. That's your top 5. Let's get to the receiving stats. Catches on the year. Sadler with 148. Brandon Murray 117. Maurice Teller 114. Zay Tuman had 111 catches, and then Tobias Cash, Oklahoma with 102. That's the top 5 reception leaders. Passing yards though. Brandon Murray went for 3,041 yards. What's impressive about what Brandon Murray did, he's not the only receiver that went over 1,000-yard mark for the University of Alabama. They got a really big time receiver room, and they get it done. They got guys that get it done. CJ Sadler 2767. Zay Tuman came in third with 2,557. Maurice Teller was fourth with 2,465, and Dwayne Atwell 2,171. Rounds off your top 5. But just for shits and giggles, let's talk about Aaron Griffin, and it's at the same wide receiver room at Alabama, right there with that Braylon Murray throwing the ball to him. Brandon Murray 3,000 yards, and look at Aaron Griffin with 2,159 yards. And I'm quite sure if I keep searching, we'll find another Alabama 1,000-yard receiver this year. There you go. C.J. Wallace with 1,251 yards this year. That's solid as shit. How many? We'll go through the teams, but I want to know how many. Let's do it now. ACC. Maurice Teller, Syracuse. George Davis, Javier Gamez, Cooper Aragos. That's 2,000-yard receivers for Miami. Etienne, the ex-running back for Clemson. Jewell, 1,000-yard tight end. So that's 2 for Syracuse. 2 for Clemson. 3 for Clemson. 4 for Clemson. Are they the most? Let's go to the Big 12. Sadler, Henry. Chris Henry Jr. went for 1,556. And Quanell Farrakhan Jr. went for 1,202. Big 10. Zay Tuman went for 225.57. Atwell Prue went for 1,782. That's 2 for them. USC had 1,219 from Genis. Alright, that was it. Only 2. Oregon did it. Bama, 3,000 for Murray, 2,000 for Griff. Tobias Cash, Kumar, Steve Sarah. So we had 2,000-yard receiver for Oklahoma. C.J. Wallace, the third receiver for Alabama. Second receiver for Texas. We had 2 of them for Texas A&M. 3 of them for Texas A&M, and 3 for Texas. Touchdowns. Corey Sadler Jr., 55 touchdowns. Zay Truman had 39. Brandon Murray, 34. Maurice Teller, 30. That's your top 4. And Atwell with 27. All right, so let's go ACC most tackles, 96 from the CPU, so 94 for Lucky. We just want to go to top tackler of each conference. Big 12, Landon Barnes with 111. Big 10, Matt Miles. This man, look, Blitz City, that's his nickname. 132 of them bitches. Arnold with 101 as well. Yeah, 2 guys over 100 tackles. That's amazing. SEC, Ray Lewis Jr. with 113 of them things. Tackle for losses, 38 for Dooms, Alabama. Alabama again, 33. Alabama with 27, and Alabama Ray Lewis, 21. Tyrone Tongues, 21. Cassidy, 21. Noddy Huff. Let's go back up. Looking at the Big 10, 20 or more. We were looking at Miles with 63, Arnold with 55, Ali with 49, Alonzo with 45, Regis, that Blitz City defense boy, 44, Cat for 40, Jose, all Oregon. They are sending it. James Anderson Jr., Ronnie Tandy, Ant Todd, 22. Brock Brown, another Oregon player with 21. Dan Bosa and David Hellie, sorry. Landon Barnes, 62, 61 from Bot Mutala, Xavier Griffin, 59, Yarbrough, 31, Byron Fowler, Florida, 31, Shivers, 28, Zion Suggs, West Virginia, 27, Vonnie Cleveland, 25, 23 for Zach Miller, West Virginia, and Joseph Mabachu, 21, along with Anthony Jones, the middle linebacker for Colorado with 20. Cedric Malvo, 40 of them things. Haynes Holloway, D-tackle, 35. Jose Sams, 33. Gideon Olokun, 31. Ty Buchanan, Clemson, 30. Austin Gentry, Syracuse, 28. Marshall Sessions, 27 for Lucky, and Marshall, 27 and 23, Clemson. And Tyrone Irvin, Clemson, with 21. Sacks. Olokun, 22. Clarence Parrish, Jamil Tobin with 17. Haynes Holloway, 16.5. Gentry, 16.5. Sams, 16. Buchanan with 14 for Clemson. Looking for users, Bryce Waitman, 12.5. And then Sessions, 12. Along with, that's it, as far as users go. Big 12 sack leaders, Xavier Griffin with 32. Bot Mutala at D-tackle with 27.5. Landon Barnes, 26.5. Byron Fowler, Florida, 21.5. Zion Suggs, 17. Vi Via, 16.5. Beller, Shivers, 13.5. Big time D-tackle. Alonzo, Oregon, 26.5. Arnold, Oregon, 26. Miles, Oregon, 25.5. Ali, Oregon, 22. Oregon, Sergio Jose, 17.5. Dante Capps, 17, Oregon. James Anderson Jr., 17 for Ohio State. Tandy for USC, 17. UCLA's Edward Sahara, 15.5. And then you're looking at Benjamin Regis, 15. Along with, that's the run out. We're not going no further than that. SEC, how many sacks? 21.5 for Dooms. Alabama's 19.5. Alabama 16. Earl Rashid for Auburn. Taste the God, 15 sacks. Alabama's Cassidy had 14. And Nadi Huff with 12.5. Along with Edward Hester with 11.5. Tyler Delgado for Texas A&M. And Juan Portillo. Oklahoma's Mike Ware. And Texas's Courtney Treggs. INTs. 10 for Cook. Bryson Murray, that's the third Murray brother with 8. Rich Ricky, 8. Kobe Meredith, 8 for Alabama. Frederick Mondo, 8. Connor Blankenship, 7. Martino, 7. Alabama out there getting to it. Oklahoma Monty Conrad with 6. Philip Afal, 5. Nigel Longhorn, 5. And James Maryland, Oklahoma, 5. Ben Kemp, Alabama. Artie Sessions, Texas A&M. And Christian Boone, Texas A&M, 5. Big Ten, 24 for Alex Samaya. He the best corner in the country. Going out his senior year like a dog. 13 for DeMarcus Hall. Rodney Powers. You got Stoner, Jamal Stoner, safety for Michigan. Kevin Gonzalez, 8 picks for Ohio State. Cameron Vale, 7. Bartow for Michigan, 6. Honeycutt, USC. Evan Luck, 6 for Oregon. Daniel Urban, 6 for USC. Brock Brown, Carl Wells. Cam Brown in UCLA and Coach Howard, Truman Pierce, 5. And then somebody we don't care about, Computer Love. All right, Jet Washington, Kobe nephew, 16 of them things. Dallas Sanders, Deion nephew, 9 picks. Aaron Bradshaw, 9. Martin Smoot had 8 for Florida. How about Brandon Dash Arrington with 7 for Colorado. Frederick Teamer for Hillburgers and his Utah team. Jimmy Gentry, 6 for West Virginia. Hayden Stepp, slot corner, 6. And then Torrey Dorche with 6. And looking at Duck with 6 as well, West Virginia. Anthony Jones, 5, middle linebacker, Colorado. Drake Stubbs, safety for Florida. Manu Miller, linebacker for Florida. And then Tanner McSwain, 5 for West Virginia, along with Gabe Dallas, 5. Lil Weezy Baby had 5 for Florida. Rico Rosales for Coach Bo had 5 for TCU, and then David Augustine with 5 of them things. Let's take a look at the All-Americans. All right, first team, National All-American first team. Bam Gore-Reed going out with his senior year with an All-American tag. Tay Scott, best running back in the country. Keelan Strong, arguably the second best. Far as stat-wise go, Tay Scott took over that, but Keelan Strong did it longer. He's been starting since his true freshman year. Baller. C.J. Sadler Jr., Corey Sadler Jr. takes over that wide receiver number 1 spot. Brandon Murray, they both came in at the same time. Both of them guys went crazy their entire. Brandon went dummies this year. Zay Tooman, Oregon, dummies for the last couple seasons he's been starting. A.J. Jewell at tight end, holding it down. Left tackle, Florida State gets that. Clayton Sermons. Clemson's Jonathan Carr, left guard. Brian Angulo, Texas A&M, right guard. And then right tackle, Trent Abraham, West Virginia. On the defensive side, Benjamin Regis, Oregon. Brandon Ali, Oregon. They got the first team All-Americans at left and right end. They're going to give hell to whoever they playing in the playoffs. Bot Mutatalo, D tackle for Colorado, holding it down. Cedric Malvo, Clemson, and then it's going to be a runoff for Clemson. That's how good that football team is. That programming, boy. 5 stars all across the board when you look at Malvo, D tackle. Left outside linebacker, Irvin. Keenan Lucky. Middle linebacker, Marshall Sessions. Right outside linebacker, Cesar Jimenez, Clemson. Looking at North Carolina State's Khalid Cousins, cornerback. Courtney Trahan, Tennessee free safety. Clemson's Jaden Donahue at strong safety. And then you got Sidney Haywood and Hayden Telliolo. Second team, Braylon Murray. Second team quarterback, Titus Yazzie. Oregon's running back, Kyle Wallace. Syracuse's running back, Maurice Teller. Wide receiver, two-way player for Syracuse, Tobias Cash, Oklahoma receiver, and Dwayne Atwell, your third receiver, Javier Gomez, tight end, Miami. When you get to the offensive line, Ahmed Pilgrim, Texas A&M, Leo Delaney, Colorado, Christian Creed, Alabama, Darkey Pouncey, Florida, Kevin Keys, Texas A&M right tackle, On the defensive side, Colton Yarborough, Gideon Olakon, left and right end, Dante Capps, D tackle for Oregon, Lane Kidder, Stanford, Jose Sams, left outside linebacker Clemson, Lance Bean, middle linebacker for Syracuse, Xavier Griffin, second team for Colorado, Artie Sessions, corner, Texas A&M, Tyler Honeycutt, corner, USC, George Harper, LSU, and you're looking at Casey Dawes, Texas A&M, first and second team. All right, award race. Player of the year goes to Corey Sadler Jr. Bringing home them trophies now. Let's go. Head coach of the year, Deion Sanders winning his first head coach of the year. Coach Prime, shout out to Coach Prime. What's up, baby? About time they gave us one. Bam Gorey, best quarterback of the 2032 class. Best defensive player, Xavier Griffin, right outside linebacker for Colorado, 32 sacks on the year. Best defensive back, Alex Samaya. That man got 24 interceptions in one season. He's a dog. Best running back, that goes to Tate Scott, 3,000-yard rusher, problem child. Best receiver goes to Corey Sadler Jr. Big time list. These guys are dogs on this list. Lombardi Award. This award is presented to the defensive lineman of the year. That goes to Bob Mulatalo, 27.5 sacks at D tackle. This Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award goes to the senior quarterback of the year, and that's Bam Gorey. Best defensive end, that goes to Brandon Ali. Battled his teammate for that, Jaquin Alonzo. Best interior lineman, Ethan Godwin wins that from Arkansas. Darkey Pouncey was right there with two Colorado guys sitting in the mix. Best tight end, that goes to A.J. Jewells, best tight end in the country. He will be a first rounder come draft time. Royals Award, that goes to Peter Jurgens won that. Ryan Wiston didn't win it. Jurgens actually won this award. Best linebacker goes to Xavier Griffin, Colorado. Best center, that goes to Ethan Goodwin. Alabama came in second there. Luke Rosa, West Virginia's kicker. Is he the only user got a kicker on here? Yep. Punter, Ohio State. I'll turn the alarm on in a second. Mafi Goulian and Marquise Bouyetti. Return man does it again. Zay Two-Man wins that award. Shout out to Oregon's return game, bro. Their special teams is serious. And your 2032 Heisman, he wins it twice, right? He doesn't win it 2 years in a row, but he won it his sophomore year, and then he came back again and won it his senior year. Shout out to Corey Sadler Jr. for an outstanding 4 years at Colorado. Balled out for us, man. He on a visit on the 13th. Bring your ass to Colorado so you can play both ways for Coach Prime, man. Real quick, I want to go over conference standings for a second, just to talk about the teams in this conference. All right, so Syracuse and Clemson, they've been at each other heads for seasons, right? Both of them are building prestige programs right now. Clemson really gets it done when it comes out of the recruiting out of the high school rankings, and Syracuse, as far as recruiting, they've been in the top 5 for a couple of years straight. Like, they've been doing their thing. Both these programs are programming. But I like what I see right here with this Miami University team. I mean, they probably got the highest overall right now. Shit crazy what they gonna do in these playoffs. I think whatever they do, if they gonna steal a win, they're gonna beat the group of 5 squad they playing. But if they can go to USC and steal a win in the playoffs, start paying attention to this Miami program. Florida State still up and coming, right? Like they're getting it done, but they haven't took that next step yet. North Carolina fell off the map. All right, so the Big 12. West Virginia is the team I would say got look out for, right? They've been, since they fired their coach and brought in Shoguns, and he's been keeping his team in the mix right now. 10-2, 8-1. They lost 2 regular season games last year and 2 regular seasons this year, and this third season is going to be them bringing their own class in. The Gators in Colorado has been doing. They're doing. Beller played really solid this year at TCU. We're looking to see what's going to happen between Utah and TCU coming up. Are they going to turn it up right now? Right, looking at overalls, they're not in the mix of the rest of these teams. In the Big Ten, UCLA is the team, and Michigan. They're the newcomers over there, new coaches, and both of them had a really solid year. 10-2, 7-2. Michigan went 9-3, 7-2 in conference play. O State though, O State got to stop quitting games, man. And then the battle between Oregon and USC right now, USC is up. And here's the thing, USC is not just up. They're up in recruiting right now too, man. These guys fired their OC and DC going into year 2 under Coach Antonio Todd. And we saw him do it at Arizona. He was dominating the Big 12 before he took over this USC program. And right now he's putting himself in the conversation to better dominate the Big 10 right now. Now, you can't just blink because Oregon is there. I know they played in the Big 10 championship game, and the game was ugly, 91-40 something, but that doesn't represent who Oregon is at all. And I would think Coach Antonio, if he was to be able to speak, he would tell you Oregon is a problem over there. But I like what USC is doing as far as what they're doing. Like, they're tearing California up. They're getting inside these recruiting battles and winning them. And they're putting themselves in competition level to be able to be back on that blue blood standard right now. So we like that program and what they're doing right now. I think Michigan found the right coach. I mean, Michigan is a ground and pound football team. And anytime you can come in and get a coach with that identity, it changes things. What I do like about Coach Boone, what he's bringing to the table in Michigan, they have had a quarterback that can run the football since Shoelace. Any of y'all remember who he was? He was on the Madden cover, college football cover. Shoelace, right? So they got quarterback play when they brought 2 more in that are dual threats that can run their offense and they can still go ground and pound. I think if they can get a little better in the passing game, like they showed signs of that 5 wide and really attacking downfield along with intermediate routes. I like what they got going on. If they can recruit some, blue chip receivers, I think this Michigan team is going to be scary going forward. And then when you look at UCLA and what Coach Howard is doing over there, he's really cutting into some of the shit USC is doing over there on the West Coast, right? He's cutting into trying to recruit into the mix of we're going to take some of these guys and keep the home talent home and really build off of that right now, right? They're going to lose their starting quarterback, who was a dog for them. We're going to see who's the next up quarterback to really tell what they're going to better do going forward. Now, that's the conference right now is the SEC. At the end of the day, Alabama's still Alabama, but Oklahoma rose to the competition this year, right? And they got a returning roster that's going to be really scary. So I think they're going to return a lot of players. So they're going to be in the mix again. Texas has been Texasing with Kemp. He's doing a good job. One, not only in recruiting, but keeping his team in the mix to be able to play in the playoffs every year, right? And then Tennessee is Tennessee, Knoxville, and them getting it together right now. I think they need a quarterback, right? They find that blue chip quarterback to better run that system. They're going to be in a situation. But Texas A&M is up and coming. Do not sleep on this Texas A&M program. Auburn, Tate don't play enough games, and when he get his ass whooped, he start talking about soccer. So I don't really got him in the mix. But I do like Georgia. I do think Georgia don't really, and it's funny that I'm about to say this, but I think Georgia is finally starting to figure it out and recruiting, and I hope he carried that over in the 26 disc. But he's starting to figure it out, Coach Tata. If you give them a run game, they're going to better play football with anybody. LSU up and coming. We got to see some more out of this LSU coach. But if they can continue to dominate their state, and when it comes down to recruiting, I think they'll be in a good situation. But if I had to talk about a team in the SEC, I'm looking at this Texas A&M team. I think they're going to be really good next year. Oklahoma's returning a lot of players, so is Texas A&M. I think they're going to be in a good situation next year, and it's going to be up to Coach Brandon to really hold down because he owns the SEC at this point. Alabama should, right? They should own it. Texas is always creeping into that Alabama prestige. They always stepping in the way of everything. Hold up, not so fast, right? That's how they. Not so fast, my friend, but I like what Oklahoma got coming back and Texas A&M as well. I think both these programs are going to be in the mix in this SEC battle for last season, right? Next season being might be our last season before 26 just come out. I mean, we do got till July 10th, and then the patch. Nobody starting no league too early. We're gonna wait for that first big patch to come, then we're gonna get after it. So we got plenty of football left to really see if these guys can do some things in a year or two. All right, let's get back to the playoff bracket before we get out of here and really talk about these matchups in round one, right? All right, so I really don't see UNLV doing anything, and running Rebels ain't gonna better do nothing with this Miami University team. So I think they just gotta go out there and play clean up football and get themselves in a rhythm, right? It's hard playing a computer team and then gotta go right into a user game the following week. So I think they just gotta really just clean up some things and work on some things in this ball game. But I do see Miami beating the brakes off of UNLV. Then the 8 versus 9 seed, I think Oregon looking for get back right now, right? And West Virginia almost made the playoffs last year, and the fact that they in it right now tells you where they at right now with it. I mean, they got Tavon Austin Jr. at running back, big time player over there. They got really solid quarterback, and they got a speedy receiver room. It comes down to like if they can. How is West Virginia going to be play calling on offense, right? Because you got that blitz city defense coming. And when Oregon stay comfortable and they do what they do best and let that defense get after your quarterback and put pressure on you and make you have to make decisions fast and they get you into turnover mode, I think Oregon is at their best, right? But the one thing about their style of defense is if you can run the football and you can put them in situations. And I think West Virginia is going to come into this game trying to run the ball. How's the young quarterback Hendricks, the elite 5-star they got over there playing quarterback for the first time this season? Is he going to be the 60% guy, or is he going to take his completion percentage up and make big plays? And right, and big plays don't mean throwing 40-yard, 50-yard touchdowns. Big plays mean just being able to keep your team in phase in front of the sticks and always making a play. Like every drive you have, you just got to make a play that make the defense got to regather themselves. Oregon is at their best when they can give you a little bit of running and they can give you the passing. And if you got to come up and put 7, 8 in the box, stop them from running the ball. You got Yazzie coming out that backfield. He is a monster, and he can hit the home run hit from anywhere. Like he can score from anywhere on the field, catch the ball really well out the backfield. But if Oregon is running the football well, you're going to have problems stopping everything because they come off that run with play action and really, really make shit hard for you to stop, right? Again, Michigan and Clemson, it comes down to the Jimmies and Joes, right? I don't think it come down to X and O's here. What I do think it come down to is can Boone make plays? He's going to have to be able to make plays. This Clemson team is going to bring out 22 starters, right? And all 22 of them are the best in their class, right? And you just got to be able to play football. You're going to have to line up and be disciplined as fuck. Don't make mistakes and be able to move the ball consistently up and down the field. Can the Michigan Wolverines, with their brand of football, can they pit 12-play drives together and consistently without making dumbass mistakes, right? They cannot do no dumb shit. They can't get in the backyard football, get a pick, and then start pitching the ball around and shit. They can't do that type of shit. They got to line up and really take it to Clemson. Then you go into Death Valley. The crowd noise is probably the #1 ranked crowd in the country. I don't know if you're going to better go in there and change plays and anything like that. So what is your preparation going to be before this ball game, right? Like, are you going to come out the huddle with 3 plays ready to run? That means your offense coordinator going to have to be on his shit and understand what Clemson wants to do defensively. And if you can't do that, you ain't changing no plays. You ain't hot route into an out route. None of that. That crowd going to be fucking crazy. The good thing about Michigan is they're used to crowd noise, right? And then I think the X factor is going to be at quarterback when it comes down to Michigan. They're dual threat quarterback. Now, on the defensive side of things, Clemson is going to keep you on hurry up, and they going to better do it all, right? Although their quarterback isn't a super dual threat quarterback, he will take off with his feet if he have to. But you're going to have to be able to stop Alexander Sterling is a problem at running back, and he's been doing it for the last 4 years. Not only just that, they do got 3,000-yard receivers, so you get caught up and get played with if you want to, right? Because they're going to keep you on hurry up. Don't let that quarterback out the pocket, because if you get out the pocket, you're going to have to chase routes. Simple as that. And then defensively, they're going to play bend but don't break defense, and they're going to allow you to make mistakes. The thing about Clemson is they got the personnel, they got the weapons to be able to just play whatever style of football they need to play. If they got to play power football, they can do it. They got to drop back and go 5 wides and throw the ball around the park. They can do that because they got the Jimmies and Joes to do it. So can you, if you're Michigan, can you go into Death Valley and quiet that crowd and force Clemson into doing some things they're not comfortable with doing? Going to be interesting. Florida State traveling to Texas, that crowd going to be crazy as well too. Can you beat their defense? Texas is going to put you in situations. They're going to give you looks, right? Different looks on defense, but really want to be in the same coverage as much as they can, right? Close to, they're going to be in their coverage as much as they can without breaking the rules. And then offensively, you got to better stop everything. They will take off with their quarterback. They can give you 5 wides. They can come up, line out, give you I formation stuff. You're going to have to deal with the option game. So much you have to deal with. And I want to know if Florida State defense can stop that, right? I do think when you play Florida State, it's not the Florida State that guys are used to. What you're going to see is they will give you 30 to 40 carries if they have to. And they got 2 running backs in that backfield, and they will give their power back the ball 30 times if they got to, and they will give their elusive running back 30 carries if they have to. And they're going to take the plays you give them, right? They're not going to sit here and, throw bombs all game long. What they're going to do is they're going to take the passes you give them. They're going to play the RPO game really well, and they're going to run the football. Can Texas stop this run game? I think this first round going to be interesting, but if I had to pick a game, it's kind of crazy because I'm quite sure if guys that's in the league watching the show right now, they're probably, most of them are going to catch it tomorrow. They watching the show right now, and I asked them to pick games, like what team you think going to win. I think all of them is willing to pick the home team this week. I'm going to put an asterisk next to that West Virginia-Oregon game just because they haven't played each other before. So I think it's going to be some unfamiliar territory, right? Where neither one of them, it's going to take them a quarter or two to figure out who they are because neither one of them has played each other, and I'm quite sure neither one of them has watched each other play. So I think that's an asterisk game. Man, I want to give Boone some hope and say he can go into Clemson, but it's not too many teams in the nation that can go into Clemson and win a ball game there. And then I think Texas is too strong for Florida State. I think they're going to better really do what they want to do. Again, it's going to come down to if Texas can stop the run. If they can, then it's going to be a long day for Florida State. So with that being said, I think the game that I'm going to choose as game of the week in the first round of the playoffs, I think is going to be this West Virginia-Oregon game. I think that's the football game that is going to be the most unknown, right? But I'm still going to go with Oregon over West Virginia in this ball game. Again, I'm gonna keep my eye on that Michigan Clemson game. I think Seahawks gonna have to really do a little bit more than he's comfortable with doing to beat Texas, and then it's gonna be really hard for Michigan to go into Clemson and win that ball game. It's hard for anybody to walk into Death Valley and come out with a dub. So it's gonna be interesting for the first round of the playoffs, man. Very interesting for the first round of the playoffs. With that being said, games will probably start getting played tomorrow, and we'll start giving y'all updates as the games get played. I'm Ant Hits, we're gone.